one of them will do, as long as the name recedes into a kind of anonymity. The surname that I will therefore give myself is Mason. An equally inconspicuous given name is also required. Here it is: Nathaniel. So, that is who I am, Nathaniel Mason. He once said that the name Nathaniel was cursed, as Ahab and Judas and Lee Harvey were cursed, and that my imagination had been poisoned at its source by what people called me. Or else it could be, you know, that your imagination heaves about like a broken algorithm, he said. And that wouldn't be so bad, if you could find another algorithm at the horizon of your, limitations. He himself was Jerome Coolberg, a preposterous moniker, non-fictional, uninvented by him, an old man's name, someone who totters through Prospect Park stabilized with a cane. No one ever called him Jerry. It was always Jerome, or Coolberg. He insisted on both for visibility, and because, as names, they were as dowdy as a soiled woolen overcoat. Still, like the coat, the name seemed borrowed from somewhere. All his appearances had an illusionary but powerful electrical charge. But the electricity was static electricity, and went nowhere, though it could maim and injure. By illusionary, I mean to say that he was a thief, and what he tried to do was to steal souls, including mine. He appeared to have no identity of his own. From this wound, he bled to death, like Marion Crane, although for him, death was not fatal. Chapter 2. On a cool autumn night in Buffalo, New York, the rain has diminished to a mere streetlight hallucinating drizzle, and Nathaniel Mason has taken off his sandals and carries them in one hand, the other hand holding a six-pack of Iroquois beer sheltered against his stomach like a marsupial's pouch. He advances across an anonymous park toward a party whose address was given to him over the phone an hour ago by genially drunk would-be scholars. On Richmond? Somewhere near Richmond. Or Chenango. These young people his own age, graduate students like himself, have gathered to drink and to socialize in one of this neighborhood's gigantic old houses now subdivided into apartments. It is the early 1970s, days of ecstatic bitterness and joyfully articulated rage, along with fear, which is unarticulated. Life Against Death stands upright on every bookshelf. The spokes of the impossibly laid-out streets defy logic. Maps are no help. Nathaniel is lost, being new to the Baroque brokenness of this city. He holds the address of the apartment on a sopping piece of paper in his right hand, the hand that is also holding the beer, as he tries to read the directions and the street names. The building, or house, he doesn't know which it is, he searches for is somewhere near Kleinhans Music Hall, north or south, the directions being contradictory. His long hair falls over his eyes as he peers down at the nonsensical address. The city, as a local wit has said, gives off the phosphorescence of decay. Buffalo runs on spare parts. Zoning is a joke. Residential housing finds itself next to machine shops and factories for windshield wipers, and given even the mildest wind, the mephitic air smells of burnt wiring and sweat. Rubbish piles up in plain view. What is apparent everywhere here is the noble shabbiness of industrial decline. The old apartment buildings huddle against one another, their bricks collapsing together companionably. Nathaniel, walking barefoot through the tiny park as he clutches his beer, his sandals, and the address, imagines a city of this sort abandoned by the common folk, or taken over by radicals and students and intellectuals like himself, Melvillians, Hawthornians, Shakespeareans, young Hegelians, all of whom understand the mysteries and metaphors of finality, the poetry of lastness, ultimaticity. The architecture here is usually fin de something, though not siècle, certainly not that, who are capable, these youths, of turning ruination inside out. Their young minds